place. You can actually like use Z spheres in ZBrush to like do what I'm doing right now, but I don't really I'm not really happy working with ZBrush and the Z spheres because it's not like a very concise application. You know, a lot of stuff in ZBrush is like you kind of have to like eyeball a lot of the stuff. You know what I mean? And building something in Max is a lot more accurate and concise than ZBrush. I mean, you can do it in ZBrush if you're happier doing it with ZBrush, by all means. Just one of those things. I think it's a matter of preference. You should be constantly checking between your side and your front perspectives. I'm not doing right here. I'll do that eventually. Okay, here's a side perspective. In order to make sure that your topology matches up with your orthographic view type thing, I can scale these polygons down so they'll come out like nice and fat, or at least fatter. If you've got ignore backfacing on, then you can't select stuff that's behind, that's on the other side. That would work against me in this case. So I just left it off. You can if you right click and go into properties, you've got like a whole slew of options. Right now I'm working. I want to see the transparency. Seeing the transparency can like help with like making sure your topology is okay too, because you never know when you might like accidentally screw up something on a side that you can't see. And then there's the foot. The foot's tricky. You know, it's something I've come to discover. If you're modeling a good head, or a good hand, or a good body, or a good foot, all these things are are relatively complex. So if you model the head, then like the amount of work it takes to get any of these things down and everything, it's like each one is like a quarter of the work. So if you do a good head and a good body, that's half of the work. That's half of the all the work right there. If you do a good hands and do good feet, that's half the work. Right now, I'm not doing like really good feet. I'm just gonna like make stumpy feet because it's not really important for me to have like toes right now. I'm probably not even gonna use this foot. It's more like a placement object. It's a character Chit. You know, I'll be like building shoes and then putting them on top anyways. But I like to like build the full body when I'm doing something like this. That way things like clothes and stuff will like match up better and will look more correct. It won't look like it's just clothes are just positioned on air. It looks weird. I just figure it looks better. Now what I'm doing right now is I'm going to use a soft select tool, and when you click in here somewhere, there's supposed to be like options for modifying the soft selection options. I can't seem to locate them, so I'm gonna use the options inside the modifier panel on the right. Here we go. Fall off. fall off's a little high. I'm gonna reduce the fall off. Essentially, what soft selection does is it creates a type of gradient effect with your selection, like a feathery effect. If you know, if any of you people are familiar with Photoshop, a feathery selection effect. So you can you can affect like the surrounding vertexes by a lower percentage, and that percentage is determined by your fall off. So I'm going to use that in order to skew my foot into a better foot shape. Does anyone watch Invader Zim? For some weird reason I can't seem to get that show out my head. I loved Zim. Why did they cancel it? So sad. So yeah, you've got your... Yeah, I guess I should like review some of the tools that I'm covering here. There's soft select, there's extrude, and there's a swift loop, which inserts loops. And you go into like the different levels and you move the polygons or vertices around so that they best match up with the orthographic. You can move your viewports around side to side, kind of like this, so you can ensure that things are lining up correctly in the different views. So this isn't lining up correctly, so I'm going to position this so it lines up better. I should probably turn off that soft select. Well, whichever. So what is a character chit? Did I cover that question already? A character chit is, it's kind of like a default character template type thing, and you essentially use it to like build other types of characters from there. Well, yeah. It's kind of like, well, yeah, that's how I would define it as. That is how I understand it. You guys are free to correct me if the explanation isn't accurate. Give this guy some more muscle. Yeah. Give him more knee. This guy needs more knee, man. Can I... yeah, bring this knee out a bit more. Yeah, when you're like building these things, when you're building these models, what you need to do is you gotta make sure that your edges the parts, the components of which they're like around the joints, those areas, the parts that bend, they need more edges so that it bends properly. If you don't have edges there, then it's not gonna bend properly. It's gonna look really weird and broken. Now that I think about it, I don't think I put enough edges in that foot. I'm gonna need to like go back there and fix that when I'm done with this. Yeah, I'm not really too happy with this character's butt. I think I'll fix it in ZBrush.